All right, today we are back to solving systems again, and let me get my calculator set up for you. We're going to be using our calculators today. Here are the two situations we have. The two rental companies decide to change their deal. Surfside Rentals rents umbrellas for $3.50 an hour plus a deposit of $29. Beach Bums rents umbrellas for $7 an hour with a deposit of $15. As you can see, I've already begun to fill in the table. The expectation is that you will fill in the blanks. So go ahead, stop the video, copy, and then fill in the blanks with your own answers, and we'll be checking that in class. Make sure you write down your equations too. Those are derived from the process. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put our two equations into our calculator, and looks like I was not quick enough, and I will have to restart this. So that'll give you an extra minute to go ahead and fill in your table if you didn't get it filled in. I'm going to bring my calculator down here. Alright, so I'm going to go to my y equals. I'm going to put in my first equation, 29 plus 3.5. Now we don't have an h, so we're going to use x. And I'm going to go down to my second one, and I'm going to put in 15 plus 7x. Yep, that is not what I wanted to do. X. Alright, I'm going to hit graph. Now, it's very important that I see on my graph where the intersection of these two lines is. So I'm going to hit zoom, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find fit. So there it is, zoom fit. I'm highlighting the little zero there and hit enter. Now I can see the intersection. Very important that you do that. So I need to graph these two. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and plot some points on your table, and go ahead, stop the video, plot your points, get them on there. Draw your lines as well. Then we're going to do this. We're going to look at how do we find where they are exactly the same. So we're going to do this. We're going to hit the second button, and we're going to hit trace, and then you see the little flashing X, and it's showing us here that that is 29 plus 3.5x. That is this graph here, and we're going to hit, let's see, second trace, second trace. I'm going to go to 5. Well, let me go back here. I'm having some difficulty. Second trace, the number 5, and then you'll see it says first curve. You're going to hit enter. Second curve, and it's showing you Y2. Yes, enter. And then it says guess. Well, believe it or not, this is going to give you a pretty good guess. So we're going to hit enter again. And it tells us that the intersection right here is 443. 443. So I could go over here and I could plot point 443, 443. Now notice that would not show up as an exact point on my graph. 443. All right. Now let's look at our table. So I'm going to hit the second graph, and we can look and see that our first one, the Surfside, remember, is the $29 deposit, is a better deal after 4 hours. Beach Bum is a better deal before 4 hours. Both are exactly the same at 4 hours. And what is the cost when both deals are the same? So remember, this is 0.443, which tells us that at 4 hours, that's hours, and this is cost. They cost $43. All right. What you need to do is you need to find your points, plot them. You're going to have 2 graphs, put them on this table. We'll be checking. If you do not do that, your notes are not complete. So your notes grade will be deducted. Plot them, make sure you have your lines, your points, put down your table on your paper so we can see that you're doing that. All right. Again, here I've given you instructions. These are not on your paper, so you're going to have to put this in. These are the TI-83 calculator instructions. So go ahead and put those in and write that in the top of your paper, TI-83 calculator instructions. That's not in there. So this part right here, you need to copy onto your paper. All right. Well, let me go back up there. Stop the video, copy that down. All right. Now we're going to go back to our calculator. How do we solve these with our calculator? And I need to get my calculator going again. It stopped on me. So let's bring that back into the screen. Let's look. So number 9, we would figure this out by putting in 2x plus 3. And then in the second one, we're going to put negative 2x minus 9. Now notice the negative sign is a little bit smaller, even though it looks like a minus sign here, it's a negative. Good rule of thumb is if there is not a number or a letter in front of and behind this sign, it's negative. The equal sign does not count. If there is a parentheses, it is usually a minus sign. So let's make that a number, a letter, or a parentheses. All right, now let's go back to our calculator. So I'm going to hit graph. I can see my intersection. So now I hit second trace. I'm going to press the number 5. Now here is my first equation, y1 equals 2x plus 3. First curve, so I'm going to hit enter. The negative 2x minus 9. Second curve, I'm going to hit enter. Third curve, I'm going to hit enter. It says my intersection is negative 3, negative 3. So up here, I will write, come on, negative 3, negative 3. Your job is to go back and put in the points so that, or put in the points and the graphs so that you will cross at negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 3. So they must cross at that point. All right. We know that 1 will cross, I'm going to do this one in red. It will cross at positive 3. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. We know that because that's our y-intercept. So I can now go through and put in my line. And make sure you use a straight edge. I can move my line on here. You're not going to be able to move your line quite so easily. I'm going to move my line so it lines up on those two. And then my other one will cross at -9. So I can go back, and this blue line, it crosses at -9, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. And I can now do my other line. Get my line tool out so that it crosses right there. Okay, I'm going to fix this one up just a little bit. It's very important that you use a good straight edge, a ruler for example, so that you can see that it crosses through those 2 points, and it'll cross exactly at that point that we found on the calculator. Alright, so I will do number 10 for you again. Let me go ahead and start a new calculator up. I'm sorry that I have to do this each time. I'm not sure why the calculator keeps cutting out on me. Alright, so I'm going to put in my 2/3 x, so I'm going to do my parentheses 2 divided by 3 for my fraction. And then I'll put x minus 4. And notice that is a minus sign because it has a variable on one side and a number on the other side. So I've already solved for y on number 10 for you. So we're going to put in -2, go back here, -2 divide by 3. We're going to put in our x plus 9. Go to graph. We can just barely see the intersection there. I think that will be sufficient. So what we're going to do is we're going to do second trace the number 5, enter, 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 9.75, 2.5. Now that would be a very tough one to come up with just by simply graphing. So let's go up here, and we're going to put in our equation. 9, and it's alright to put in the decimals right here, and 2.5. And so what we'll do is we will try to now come over here, 9.75, 2.5. That would give us a point roughly right there. My first equation crosses the y-axis at -4. So I can come down here, -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. And I can draw my line, my graph. Get this lined up so it goes right through my point. There we go. So this just a touch here. Of course, if you're using a ruler, it will come out looking much better. And we know that the second one, my blue equation, crosses at +9. +9 on the y-axis. So I come up here, there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I can now put in my other line. And so, really, at a minimum, I want to see your point of intersection and your y-intercept. Point of intersection, y-intercept. All right. Let me go through. I'll do one more for you. Okay. Now we cannot put an x equals into our calculator. So we just have to know that x equals 7. So I can draw my line. X equals 7. So I'm going to come over here to 7. I'm going to draw my line right there. Because anywhere on that line, I'm going to straighten it up here. Of course, you're using a ruler or other suitable straight edge, so you won't have to straighten it up. It's right there. And then my second equation, y equals -5. So I'm going to come over here, and I should have done my colors a little bit differently. So let's do a new line, insert, shape. We're going to go to y equals -5. Oh, let me straighten that out. And the point where they intersect, we're not going to be able to do this on our calculator. The point where they intersect is right here. And what is that point? It is 7, -5. 7, -5. 7, -5. Be sure to put in your parentheses. And you are expected now to do number 12. I've already solved for y. Put those in your calculator. Show me the point of intersection and the y-intercept. Draw your two lines and put your answer right here. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.